All right. For those of you who are here to play a little front hole, back hole, that's at the end of the video. I'll see you there. Uh, I guess you can hear my roommate's having a teenage moment. She's playing that rock music. I, I, I was gonna say more, but it sounded like a diss, so I stopped. But now it makes it sound like I don't like rock and roll, and that is true. All right. Well, I'm not homeless. Uh, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. I'm down some equipment, and last September I haven't worked for a while because I was in a motorcycle wreck in September, and it's been a long, drawn-out lawsuit. I've had 3 herniated discs. Have currently herniated discs in my spine, and whatever. And I was, yeah, everything was supposed to be settled a while ago, and you know, uh, I've been running out of favors, but I got news from my lawyer that the shit might happen like ASAP, whatever. And let me tell you my social security number and my mother's maiden name, and we'll get started. Speaking of getting started, I'm making a video. You know, I'm done with the Olympics scandal, and I'm making a video to continue what I'm doing uh, in, or I don't know. What I'm saying is I don't know if it's relevant. What this video is relevant if anybody cares, or if I'm posting on the relevant places, and if I'm not, whatever. But I'm breaking down more of what's wrong with the LGBT community, and also my thoughts on uh, the philosophy at where we are at right now, based on the Western mentality these days. Because I don't want to sit around. There's enough of YouTube channels of people clowning on and complaining about everything that's wrong, but let's look at some shit. So we're gonna start with, of course, we have to begin this video. I got a new protocol on can I say this? YouTube? I have like no subscribers. Yeah, YouTube's making me do this. It's what not to do with trans people. So everybody, you're gonna have to sign your name after this. Okay. I'll wait until everybody's ready. Ready. Ready.
And the reason for this is something we'll get into when we start talking about mental health. That's because we live in a world that is very, very dangerous for people that exist outside of a binary system. People literally die because they're transgender. And while that might sound like an extreme, it's just a fact.
Wait. She said something
So
before.
here's what not to do. Don't mention the person's identity if they disclose it to you unless they say it's okay. And
What not to do. All right. What did she say? Oh, I'm sorry. At the beginning it was they're, them. Mention their what not to do. Mention their identity unless they say it's okay. What's their identity? Is it like Bruce Wayne? Like, dude, you saw me coming out of the phone booth. That's big. Treat pronouns like an accessory. Tell them, wait, that it's okay. Treat pronoun. Mention their identity unless they say it's okay. Can I get a period up in here? No, not like I want one because I'm trans and I've never had one. But there's no punctuation except for too difficult. All right, I'm just gonna skim through this. What have you learned, everybody? Well, we have TED Talks. If anybody wants to know more on that, there's a TED Talk uh, about that. And this actually ties in. This is the end of what I'm going to be talking about. Keep this in mind. Put a pin in that, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so somebody asked me on Reddit about gay stuff. Or I forgot what the question was. But I remember thinking about, or this is a thought process that came as a response to stuff. Maybe I should find that comment. Alright, fuck it. I don't know where this comment is, but who cares? Chosen family is something I wanted to warn the younger generation about. This idea of chosen family. And then my last episode, I was talking about, not my last episode, when I was like, oh shit, yeah, I have to talk about this too, is I said I was gonna become a man and go to church again. And then I remembered what I find out every time I try to do the jailbreak thing is that um, is my ID has me as a woman. All of my wardrobe is female, and physically, it's like if you went up to some guy who was like really buff, and you said for whatever reason, and you were correct for whatever reason, hey, your body is wrong, and it's fucked up, and you need to change it, and he's like, oh yeah, you're right, and there was a good point for it. It's still a hard thing to do, you know, like, or imagine like a natural woman and saying that, hey, this is an affront to God, you have to go be a man. So I've been like almost 8 years on this, and I'm not saying I'm a real woman, but biologically, it's taken that long to get to where I am now. And the reason, a reason that I know that I haven't gone back on this um, yet officially or whatever. Or the reason I haven't gone back on this is because it's not as simple as saying, you know what, fuck this, and then take 2 steps back. It's as far as you wandered out here, you have to come all the way back, and with no support. And that's what I'm going to talk about with this chosen family thing is we get lumped into, or no, we get stuck with an oversaturated community where there's very little help. In Los Angeles, even, there's like 2 places in West LA, which are the LGBT center, which, you know, like, I think I waited a year to get a psychiatrist there. And then the other one is St. John's that does transgender stuff. St. John's downtown, you know, that's not funny, is that place is where like Caitlyn Jenner goes. You know, it's supposed to be like world renowned for the trans health thing and whatever. And so there's so many people that come out, and there's so many people, just more and more. It's oversaturated, and that's your chosen family. Even the ones that aren't apathetic and care can't help you. There's such a long wait, and then to get out of it, when you get stuck with your chosen family, like my crazy roommate who almost threw me out the other day. She's trans too, and we've known each other since before we came out, and whatever. And I forgot what I was saying. And one thing that, okay, so March, back in March, I went back on my transition again, and I actually grew a beard and stuff, which I can't do anymore. And so I, like, you know, gained weight and all this stuff, and I was working at a motorcycle shop because I love bikes, and I got into a knife/gun altercation with the owner on Easter Sunday. I might edit this part. On Easter Sunday, of all things. Anyways, I ended up in jail, and even with the beard and me in my mind and already spending a month as a guy, I remembered very quickly in LA County that I'm trans or whatever. It's not at this point, it's not an ideology. My situation was drastically different in there. than it was before I went in, or I'm sorry, than it was for the other inmates there, you know. And it was really rough. Anyways, so I wanted to, at least if I don't make more videos, or I don't know if anybody cares or not, but I did want to come on here and if there was anybody who is younger and thinking of being trans or is trans or whatever, who was getting any sort of advice, taking advice from me at all. In one of my earlier videos, before I said I was going to be a guy again, um, I expressed that it's to slowly ease out of it because it's dangerous. Or maybe I edited that out, or that was in one of the edits. But I, that advice, what I just said now, to slowly ease out of it and into it if you're going to do it, is really good advice. And if I didn't want to come on here and be like, look, everybody, I'm just going to go be a man. I'm going to go find a church and all that, because that's very dangerous, especially if you're like someone with me with no support, and I've chosen not to have chosen family, you know. And so the last thing I'll say on all that is for the time being, I think all I can do is try to warn younger people not to do this, and ask them to just let it die with millennials. Let us be the ones that made the mistake and let it die with us, because it will die with one of these, very near generations to come. Why not be with us? It's because whatever. So, was this up the whole fucking time? Aw. Man, that's a bummer. Okay, so let's get into chosen family.
With the holidays just around the corner, from Thanksgiving and fusion, or at the very least, a period of potential awkwardness. As we're comfortable or even hostile with our biological family for a while, return to your chosen family, of course. The great part of chosen family is that
I endured this for this next bit.
you get to decide who is part of it. You get to choose your siblings,
Not
your
this one.
parents, and your children. And you can have as many family members as you like. I, for one, have 7 sisters, 3 moms, 2 grandmothers, and counting. When your biological family
Wait, how many grandmothers was that?
support, love, home cooked
Can
meals,
you share a grandmother or two?
families can help build connection
Young.
and mentorship across generations.
Hold on.
What's up?
Man. See, when you start. I said fascism was dead the other day when I was talking about liberalism, but my concern about fascism rising is when you police how people even say hello to each other, and I never have, because I always thought that was bogus, but people are now policing themselves on that, or they just won't say anything, and there's this like fear or whatever, and then I think there's a lot of people living in fear, and I think these people, their fear is they're afraid of not fitting in and not being in the constituency of Satan or whatever. And then I think the people who do see how insane this is, who aren't in the insanity, that those people that are this deluded in their echo chamber is because they can't say things for what it is, because they're afraid of falling out with each other, they have to believe the lies or whatever. And then from the outside, it's like, what the fuck is this? Because it's so, when you haven't been like, regurgitating your own meals of lies for so long, and you're out on the outside, it's very easy to see. But the danger of that, I would call that the conservative people in America, at least. The danger of that expression, or no, there is another expression of fear that comes from that, which is just as harmful, and that's the anger, the judgment, and anger is fear, and judgment is fear, and all that. Any kind of fear will kill you. Fear is death. Don't be afraid of hurting people, in the sense of feelings. That's people are afraid of hurting feelings. Too much nowadays, and a lot of us can agree on that. But just because you change the way that fear and darkness is dished out and served and all that, more than looking at this guy, and being afraid or whatever, like look inside and see if that any of this darkness that I'm talking about is anywhere inside of you, because even if there's a little bit, it's a problem. So I don't think anything cool else happens in this. What's the conclusion? Oh, we're in the conclusion. All right, got it. High heels. Blah. I don't want to try it again. Blah. It looked better the first time. It looked like he was like, blah, like throwing up. All right, he's gone. This guy. All right, and this is this is the other. This is the straight version of this. Oh no, not the straight version. So that's chosen family. Last point on chosen family is, when your family turns their back on you, they still love you, but they can't, like I said in another video, give their blessing, and their shunning you has an effect on you, and it has an effect on them. And no matter where you are in the world or where they are in the world, there is something like blood going on, is what you could call it, but it's also so many of the, even gestating in your mother's womb, and speaking of babies and stuff, let's watch this guy talk. And no, I'm not going to say it.
This is Clay with Modern Love Life, where we help you get the great, loving relationship that you are looking for without having to play mind games.
So this is the love yourself first before you can love others rhetoric that is crap.
Without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not, because I believe that you deserve to be loved, the unique, wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, do me a favor by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel if you are not.
What did he say about hard to get? He's saying before you love yourself before you love someone else. Well, playing hard to get doesn't mean you love them. Wait, hold on. Love yourself. Playing hard to get. You don't have to play hard to get. You don't have to play hard to get. I'm just stoned, I think. No, I had a thought about that.
Already. Today, I want to talk about the importance of loving yourself first. We look at relationships and dating as, I think for most of us, as a way of. The thing we need to do is go out and date somebody. We need to go out and find somebody who's going to love us, who's going to make us feel good, who's going to fill us up, right? And,
Shit, can you not hear any of this?
over candlelight dinners and all that stuff, with glasses of wine, and gravies and entrees. And I
Oh
remember
my god, shut up, dude. Oh, sorry, Lord. I just blasphemed because of this tweet. Alright. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. I was trying not to laugh at this dude. Oh man, I gotta take him off the screen. Get him off the screen. Oh man. Oh my lord. Dude, he's on my TV. man. That was fun. This happens to me sometimes. Uh, if I don't laugh at if I don't laugh at something that I think is really funny, I become hysterical like this. Okay, let's get back to it. I will finally edit something. Where's? Oh, I turned it on. I had to turn the TV off just now. I gotta. All right. We're skipping this part, dude. I can't do it. Oh, all right. I can't do it. Man. So I worked at Starbucks for when I was when I first came out. I found out very quickly that nobody wants to hire uh, like a drag queen because I'd had like maybe a year at the most of hormones then, and I'm like I never thought I was a woman, but I thought that I was like fooling somebody other than myself or whatever. And anyways, so I was working for these cuckolds at, I call them star schmucks or star fucks. These guys, I got stuck in my hometown, Reno, Nevada, when I first came out, accidentally. And I worked for $7.15 an hour for Starbucks, and they apparently they say, or no, not apparently, I know for a fact that they'll pay for you to go to school, college, and they'll buy you a vagina. It's on me. Have a pussy, and everything, whatever. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll go to school and get a pussy. And I find out, like, after I get to the qualifying point of it, they're like, yep, you qualify now. That's just $11,000, and we'll meet you halfway there. And I was making $7.15 an hour, so it was possible, and I was getting tips. They would, every 2 weeks, I would get rolls of nickels, $2 or $3 at a time, totaling to $11 every 2 weeks or something. And I'd spend it all in one place, right there at Starbucks. That's the only thing I said there that wasn't true. And it's culty, it's weird, it's bizarre. I'll get into why I'm talking about these guys more. Well, the trans thing, whatever. And and we'll pay for you to go to school, but you're gonna be homeless, and whatever. So, this virtue signaling stuff where they, oh, come here, new slaves, because like trans people, is the last in the last 8 years, like, I used to be the person that would hold on to a job and become like a journeyman at a position and be like the general manager or something. And in the last 8 years, like maybe like 6 months or a month or whatever, it's just so. And if I were, and actually no, not if, before I transitioned, when I was hiring people, I'd be like, fuck no, I'm not hiring a trans person. I don't want to be like, say the wrong thing, So, I think I forgot to conclude an earlier point. My point about I said fascism, the pronoun stuff. So, I don't even have to watch this individual talk about that. Who cares? But, I mean, if they have any other points than what I just said, who cares? No, but, that's the main point. Oh, and another thing is, no, the main point is this, you can go into Starbucks and be like, oh, I see your menu, fuck that. I want nothing that I see there. I'm just gonna fuck all this up, you know. And I saw this on Reddit, and it's got some weird name, and you know it. Come on, I know you saw it on your feed today. It's everybody make it for me, please, and then no, please. And whatever. This entitlement is my point of coming into of how this expectance to just everything that we see is augmentable by, you know, how much money do I need to, or actually not even how much money. For very little you can come in and say, this is how I think about things, and this is the way it should be, down to even the shit you drink every morning, you know. And that's not a rant, but my point is it's translating to across the board. And I was gonna say, and that's why Burger King sucks now, but it turns out because they are doing the have it your way thing, but I haven't watched this yet, but well, at least the song doesn't make you want to. I was gonna say something gory. Okay, so Burger King's not to blame here. Maybe this guy is, though. Alan Watts. All right, this is some guy. He's a philosopher he's like from the 20th century. This guy, and he's kind of. This lecture is probably during the '60s Summer of Love stuff, and he was one of those Zen, the guys that, when you think of Silicon Valley, you know, all those people that think they're hippies, like Dave Grohl, where they sit like, you know, cross-legged and you know, this spirituality where you walk around and you're like, that crystal does this, and you know, and then you just renounce. He's like, we don't even know where the Bible comes from, you know, and he's like, I'm not going to do the accent the whole time, but he says that the Bible gives you all this nice information on how to live and no way to actually apply this information. He laughs at everything he says. Sorry, I can't stand this guy, but he's the reason these guys that taught in universities that are like my grandparents' age, maybe, that took the Silicon Valley stuff or whatever, who the back to the Starbucks, have it your way kind of thing, is there was this, like, with technology and saying, oh, this stuff's so stuffy and hokey, and look at our hubris, and we're so smart, and we got cars and shit. And they throw out some stuff. He's a very smart guy. He makes a lot of good points, you know. But it's very arrogant to throw out, you know, thousands and thousands of years of billions of people expressing one ideology, and then, you know, people like this have given us this have it your way of spirituality. Like, where even people think stretching is called yoga, you know. Stretching isn't yoga. Yoga is a spiritual Hindu thing, you know. The chiropractors is a cult of money and weird spirituality stuff and whatever. And these things, like the Bible and religion in general, these institutions have given people base ways to function with each other, where it wasn't anything goes. It's turned into this anything goes. What you know, we're building a Tower of Babel again, and it's what I showed you earlier of. Well, like myself, I thought I have agency or authority on my own body, or whatever. And there's people like this who do that, and he goes on about, and he's really upset with Protestantism, and basically everything he says about, he's always, I've listened to a lot of his lectures. He's always on about Protestantisms and then Roman Catholics, and I don't blame people for, myself included. I was an atheist for 28 years, or even like, I don't even, whatever, a long time. And it's because of the zany shit at the Catholic Church, and their history of, you think, oh, the Crusades and, what are they called? Allowances, whatever. Indulgences that started the Protestant Church, where you could, here's an indulgence to some rich aristocrat, they could sin. Well, that doesn't sound like what Jesus was talking about, and it certainly isn't. And then, because of that, exactly what I just said, a guy named Martin Luther says, well, okay, fuck you. And this is, well, he starts saying what's wrong with all this stuff, and they were already perverting it from the actual Orthodox Church, the Roman Catholics, whatever. And from that schism, people in Protestant groups started, they would say, actually, you don't need communion, and Jesus was saying this, and Jesus was saying that, and then that's why there's a thousand versions of that, because they started doing the BK have it your way thing with Christianity, which is to say the same thing as doing it with constructs of functionality in society. And so it's trickled around from that thing, and because of how goofy the broadest representation. You got to remember the founding fathers were all Puritan, the Pilgrims and all that. They weren't Catholics, Roman Catholics, or whatever. So the narrative has always been. Wait, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So we in America, what we grew up and we see the televangelists and people like that and all that crazy shit. It's very easy to laugh at it and everything, because you got stuff like this. Oh, this isn't the video. You're ruining my childhood, man. All 12 ones. This one.
Round one, fight!
Hadouken! Dude, I think actually. That's fucking nuts, So, there's all this nonsense out there, or that's where this angsty adolescent, oh, I'm gonna go figure out my own way, kind of modern mentality of the modern human, whatever. That's the end of my video. Alright. But, alright. Yeah, I finished the outfit change. Was not, because I wanted to do an outfit change. I got to the end of I was editing, and I was like, why the fuck would anybody want to watch this video? And then I remembered that the most important thing is I was going to introduce everybody to front hole, back hole. You don't know about front hole, back hole. Front hole, back hole. Oh, okay, let's check it out. Okay. This is one of those things like, what are they called? Fucking White Claw. I took like a year off bartending, and then all these college kids came into the next bar I worked at, and they were like, "Can I get a White Claw? I want a White Claw." And I was like, "What's in it?" And they're like, "Oh." And I went to the bartender who was like a kid too. I was like, "What's in a White Claw?" And they're like, "A what in a Huna?" And I'm like, "A White Claw." And they're like, "Oh, it's down there." Like I didn't know anything. Point is that these things happen so quick that become fads that everybody's like, I can't believe you don't know it, you know? And it really, if you're not tuned into this shit for like 10 minutes, you miss it. And then the thing that happened to me again recently, I don't know, last year I installed like a dating app, and I scrolled through it and I saw ENM everywhere. And I was like, ENM, ENM, and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm constantly looking up these little 3-letter things, and they're always changing. And it said ethically non-monogamous, and I was like, back in my day, that we just called that a roommate that you like to fuck sometimes, and because you like live together and you have sex, and but the thing is, it's prefaced by the word ethically, like that. Anything that you have to preface with ethically sounds suspicious to me. You know, like I'm an ethical jaywalker. I'm an ethical. Well, I was gonna ask you to come up with a few, but we're about to play front hole, back hole. Uh, Always, baby. Always Windows Media Player. What am I watching? Why is this on this guy? Oh, okay. No, my days of getting extensions are far behind me. What am I looking at, man? Ah, fuck it. I'm just gonna edit the videos I took at the LGBT center uh, covertly. Basically, um, just last week or something, I noticed when I was at the pharmacy there that um, I was looking at something, and it was like your da 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 da, and it mentioned a vagina, and it said your front hole, or your da 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 back hole, or I thought they said back hole.
Call from 13107214071.
Hello? Hello? Say what?
Hi, this is Dita Goodman. I'm an attorney. You called my office.
Front hole. Hold up. Anal sex isn't a back hole? Front hole. Anal. Butthole. Front hole. I think we covered everything. Ethically non-monogamous. Anybody come up with any good ethically somethings that are fun, like ethically, fuck, I think I covered everything. Front hole. Okay, so basically vaginas are, oh yeah, that's right. Vaginas are called front holes, and buttholes are called buttholes. Have a good one, everybody.